Welcome to... No, not pause there.
So many pauses.
This isn't going to go well. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Kaz.
I'm long.
I'm short.
Kaz is a vegan.
Jill loves meat.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I played for England 144 times.
I played for England 161 times. I had to get that in.
And the jungle thing as well.
Me, Queen of the Jungle. I'll take that one.
We're unlikely mates.
But best mates. So we've started a podcast together where we're going to cram in as many stories as possible every week.
Coming up on this week's episode.
And what did you reply? Right, what you want about? That was literally it. You didn't even say like, thanks Jill, nothing like that, just what you want about.
So I was half like semi-asleep and I woke up and I was a bit like, I feel like Barbie. I feel like they've sewed me up.
£750 later, I go away with, this is no word of a lie, a Piriton hay fever tablet.
Are you joking? And then he gets up and he's like, Karen. And I was like, oh, you mate? And he goes, 144 caps. And I was like, shut the front door. Did you only get this kind of voice issue at a certain part of the year?
Yeah, like the summer.
Welcome to Long Story Short.
Come on then, Kaza.
Thought we were in the wrong seat as well then.
Look at our new set.
Huh?
This is actually cool.
I'm glad you bought some stuff because I didn't.
I know.
I think it needs a bit more stuff.
Well, to be fair, you always say that I'm so unorganised, right?
You did text me last night, where is the venue today? And this morning. At 10:30 last night and at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, but that's because you didn't reply. So usually, if you
I'm
didn't
like, it's
send
not my
us-
problem. You've got an entourage.
But
They
we
could
need
help
to
you.
be here together, obviously, to do the podcast.
Because I know you'd find a way. And
Yeah.
look, I walked out and there you were walking along the street.
I know you were waving. But I did I travelled from Sunderland to Manchester to London to get here. You've just come from London. And I brought picture frames. I brought the Euros medal, which I just had in my pocket. I brought...
Can we just talk about that? You have a little pack that you carry that. And rightly so, you are Euro winner. It is brilliant. But you do make me giggle. You just pull it out.
I
Left,
don't
right,
just
centre.
walk around with
You
the
signed it
medal.
every time I see you. You've got your little thing, and to be fair, you should wear in it.
Wait a
but
minute.
You do carry it, and I'm like, I do think fair play because I'm like, you've earned it, you deserved it. But you do have it every time I meet
do
you.
not walk around with my medal.
Do you-
I literally
every time I
brought
see
it
ya.
for the set.
Do you not have it in your green little pack?
Not every single day, but sometimes I do carry it. Because then, you know what? If like a kid comes into the coffee shop and I
That's
go,
cute.
oh, look, you can get a picture with the medal. So I brought
It sounds
it.
really bad for you not carrying it around because you absolutely should, but it just makes me laugh. That's
But
all.
you've made it sound like a right idiot there. That I like just
No.
walk around going, do you know I was part of the team that won the Euros? Anyway, I brought it
Wait,
today.
but where's your jungle stuff?
Well, yeah, but because I've obviously travelled quite far, I couldn't just bring everything that I
Did you not
wanted
come in a
to.
car?
Did you bring anything?
I bought myself
Oh,
and the iPad.
okay. Have you noticed what else I've got there? A videotape.
Plant.
Yeah.
Well, what's on that?
So the videotape is actually, every time I go back to Sunderland, my auntie gives us a videotape. So that is our Olympics 2012. But I haven't got the heart to tell her that who has a video player nowadays.
That is so true.
I know, so I can never
Can you not
watch
like
it.
get it done and put it on a DVD? Or, like,
Probably.
who has a DVD player?
Exactly, yeah.
How would you get that? If anyone knows.
Yeah, please send in actually, how do you play videotapes? Because I've got 50 of them and I don't know how to use them. Because I have brought this as well and I feel a bit bad because I feel like now it's about me. But they said bring things from your career. Obviously you brought yourself, which is a good one, I suppose. But basically when I made my 150th cap for England, I got my shirt cut into little squares. And basically just to say thank you to people, saying without them I wouldn't have reached that 150th. So I'm going to put this on the shelf.
Can I have a look?
But afterwards I want to give it to you.
Give it to me?
Yeah.
Stop
To
it.
say thanks for all your support on my journey.
Ah.
So
So
yeah.
that's from your jersey?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
How much do you reckon this will go on eBay for?
I think you get £32. I've sold 10 of them.
If you sign it, does it go for 35?
33. I think
No, all jokes aside, that is amazing.
Kaz, I think if I sign it, it actually goes for 22. It
Yeah, it's
devalues
I'm
it.
actually really honoured, actually.
Yeah, but you can't have it yet.
Oh.
It's got to go up on the shelf. So yeah, that's yours to take home. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Put it there. Did you bring me anything? Podcast together?
Nope. Nothing.
Okay.
I just, you're lucky on me.
This is what I'm working with, guys.
So basically, because I've brought absolutely nothing to the shelf, if you have anything that you want to send in or add to the shelf, please do, or any ideas.
Yes.
And maybe next time I'll bring something. Can I bring my blues shirt?
Yes, I'll let you have that. Is it actually stuff from your career that you're going to
no.
bring in?
No. I don't have anything in my house from my career.
Nothing?
Nah. I mean, there's maybe one thing because it got sent to my house. That's why I can't bring anything in. I haven't got anything.
Do you know I've got 3 of your shirts in my house?
Have you?
So I've
Can I have
more.
Why didn't you bring it?
I've got more stuff from your career in my house than you have of your career in your own house.
Yeah, no, I've got like football memorabilia, but it's like of like Birmingham City, and
Yeah.
like I've got Keep Right On in my kitchen, and like the saying, and then I've got lots of Peaky Blinders stuff in there as well. So there's like there's a lot to Birmingham, but actually nothing of my career. Because I was like, when I retired, I was like, oh, I'm gonna move on now. But there's my sister's joke. There's like a shrine at my mum and dad's house.
Yeah.
Like you walk in their office, it's like caked in loads of stuff. Well, I'd never go in there.
So you definitely the favourite child.
I think Kira's the favourite.
And then you.
And then me, yeah.
I always say that in my grandma's. She's got like so many grandchildren, then she's just got this little bit. And I always say that like it looks like I've died. It's like pictures of us. Some have got like flowers round, and then like another picture of something else.
Candles.
Yeah. And I'm like, Grandma, I think we need to change this up a little bit. Like
How
newspaper
is the granny?
clippings. She's good, really good. We had my mum's 70th birthday recently. My grandma was dancing all night. 91.
No way.
Dancing all night. We had a Drifters tribute band. My mum was like, this party must have took you ages to organise. And the truth was, it took us 4 days. I got the venue.
You know she's going to see this.
Yeah. I don't think she'll listen.
Okay,
Yeah.
carry on.
She
Sorry.
prefers like Towie and stuff like that. So yeah. So basically got like the Drifters band 2 days before. Then someone pulled out for the music on the actual day of the party. So I had to get someone on the day. Did it at the Stadium of Light. But, you know, one of the Drifters, one of my favourite songs.
Go on, sing it.
You're more than a number in my little red book. You're more than a one-night stand.
Big tune.
So we'll get on to why you were here. What is this, Kaz?
It's a red book, Jill.
It's a red book, okay? I say book, you say book. And basically, this podcast, we're going to tell stories from my little red book that I carry around everywhere. But you might see that this isn't so little, and I've got a confession. So basically,
Why do I feel nervous all of a sudden?
I know. So the whole podcast was about to be about my little red book. But last night, when we were travelling down to do this, I lost it. Okay?
Why does that not surprise me, though?
I know. And I was like, I've lost.
Have you lost it, or has you just left it?
Well,
There's like there's stuff in there that maybe someone shouldn't see, or...
Well, that's what I'm thinking as well. But basically, I think I might left it in my car, which is in the garage, which is another story. So this morning, we had to have the producer run out, Annie, big shout out to Annie, and pick me up a book, because that's the whole point of the podcast.
Have you given her the money for it?
No, because it's moleskin. Do you know how much these are?
Are they expensive?
I think they're like £21.99. So
Then you
this
sell
is-
your shirt and get change and then keep some.
Yes. You know what? We could sell some of them frames. That's a good point, actually.
And you can give her money back.
So we're going to tell stories from here. Some are throughout the years, some are most recent. And that's how we're going to do the podcast.
But if that's a new book, how many stories you got in there?
I wrote a few last night.
Oh, right. Then.
And to be honest, I remembered some of them, so I put them on the back of my Hilton room key.
Is
last
this
night.
just like a plug for Hilton as well?
And I'm in room 770, but hopefully by the
God.
time this goes out, I'll have moved on. Don't be knocking on my door. So yeah,
Oh, God.
so that's what we're going to do.
This is going well.
I know.
Right, go on then. What's the first story?
Oh, like straight in there. Well, I'll tell
We've
you
only got
actually.
45 minutes.
I'll tell you actually about you used to say that to me at half time. Come on, Jill, we've only got 45 minutes. Are you
It
gonna
didn't make a
are you
difference.
gonna get into this game? So basically the reason I think my book is in my car is because did you know when your car beeps really loud, basically you're about to hit something.
Right.
I did that twice this week.
You hit.
Twice.
So wait, did you not hear the beep? Did you not? What like?
So basically, I've never hit a car in 20 years of driving, okay? And I got to London, your place, London, all great, okay? So I go
It
into the
is.
car park, I park, and then I leave the car park. And usually when you leave the car park, what sign do you look for?
Exit.
Exit, yeah. So I look for the exit, so I'm doing everything right. I'm just checking on her. Suddenly my car starts beeping. The left side of my car is like getting crushed by this big pole. So my car is now wedged in the exit. So then I try and get out, go to reception, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, I'm in a rush, but my car's like stuck in the car park. He's like, is your car bigger than like a small car? I was like, yeah, a little bit.
I mean, you got a tank.
No, it's not a tank. But he was like, yeah, the big cars can't go out the exit. And I'm like, well, why is there not a sign? So I've crushed my car, right?
Not your nice car.
Well, yeah, I think it's quite a nice car, yeah.
So if your car was stuck, how did you get out? Did you just scrape it the whole way
Yeah,
out?
I just had to reverse and then go out the entrance.
So
but I-
how bad is the car?
Well, I thought I might just be able to pop the dint out, but the garage has now had the car for 6 weeks. So I'm thinking it's quite a big job. But I didn't scratch it, so
No, you've like took the whole back off by the sounds of it.
well, maybe. I think I might need a new door. That's why I've started doing this podcast. I'm thinking if we can raise a bit of money, it'll pay for my door.
I was thinking that. We're better up our game a bit then.
So anyway, drive off to St George's Park, 'cause I had something at St George's Park. I then get a courtesy car, okay? Basically, cut a long story short, I then reverse into this big, massive concrete slab, and now I've smashed the courtesy car. Haven't slept for 2 days because how do I tell the company, thanks for fixing my car for the last however many weeks? I've now done the same to the courtesy car.
What was something mithering you or like what?
No, I was fully
Just
switched on. Obviously, when I
clearly
drive, I'm
not.
fully switched on.
Really?
Yeah. So 2
Sounds it.
cars. So have you ever hit a car?
No, touch wood, no.
Never.
Mm.
But you don't really drive, do you?
No.
Are you a tube girl?
Yeah, I do. It's quicker. It's much quicker.
Do you get recognised on the tube?
Do you know I did get recognised the other week? I was slightly buzzing. Do you know the guy after Chase?
Oh, yeah.
The Dark Destroyer recognised me.
Was he on the tube?
He was on the tube, and then I was with my pal, and my pal goes, and I was stood up. I can't remember where I was going. I think I was going to Liverpool, and I was like, "Oh right, cool." And then he gets off, and he's like, "Karen," and I was like, "Oh, you mate?" And he goes, "144 caps," and I was like, "Shut the front door."
Oh, my
He like started
God.
reeling off all my stats. He's like, "Watched you since you were 17." I was like, "Yeah, amazing." And then he goes, "So when you coming on the show?" And I went, "Never." And he goes, "No, don't be intimidated." And I was like, "Mm-hmm." And he's like 8 foot tall.
Is
and I'm
he?
like, he said that, "Don't be intimidated." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
And he's
my
like, "I'm going to
God.
tell the producer you're coming on the show." I was like, "Cool." I said, "Actually, can I have a photo?" And he gave me like a big cuddle.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, he was so nice." And then like, because he had a cap on and he had sunnies on, and then he got off. And I was like, "Oh, it's class." So I was
Oh,
like, big shout out to
that is actually
yeah,
well
he was
cool.
he was really nice. So
Do you think when he meets people, he just shouts stats out? Like, if he sees
no,
them?
like like he genuinely reeled off like live accurate stats, and
God.
I was like,
We have actually seen each other this week, though, which is quite rare.
"Well, I only saw you for 2 minutes because you were doing your standard dance moves."
Thanks for coming, though. It was Shelley's 40th.
It was
And
good.
Kaz, actually, you did make an effort to drive up.
Anything north of Watford now, I get anxious. So yeah, to make it all the way up to I don't know where it was.
Warrington.
No, it was
It's not like
it wasn't. It was in some field.
there was actually pigs and sheep and
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a good party, wasn't it?
The no phone party.
Yeah. We did have no phones. But wasn't it good, though? Because everyone
Oh, it was
off
great,
the
but I'm
phone.
laughing. But unit Rachel wasn't.
Rachel who?
Unit.
Was she on her phone?
She was taking. We was doing so, and then like people coming up and telling us off, and I was like, "You're not gonna tell Rachel off, are you?" And I was like, "Unit, if you could get away with it."
Oh
You're the
my
only
God,
one.
I can't believe she broke the no phone rule. We had the no phone rule so that people like could just relax, enjoy the
So
party.
celeb, Jill.
Well, no, it wasn't for that. It was just so that people could enjoy.
You know what?
it.
It was really good because everyone was in the present moment. To be
Yeah.
fair. It was actually really nice. It was a great party. Shelley looked amazing.
And to be fair, Kaz, literally, because I was so like grateful of you making the effort
Oh,
and everything, I thought, you know what? I'm
I
gonna
know what you're
send
gonna
you
do.
a nice little message. So I go to Kaz Personal, because you've got 2 phones. You've got 2 different names on social media. I think I've started this podcast with someone dodgy, but we've got to go with it now.
thanks for outing me.
So I sent you this text going, work brought us together, but it was all our hilariously random chats, snack breaks, venting sessions, and our shared sarcastic humour that really transformed us from work acquaintances to lifelong friends, and a big heart. And what did you reply? Right? What you want about? That was literally it. You didn't even say like, thanks, Jill, nothing like that, just what you want about.
Because what was you on about? You'd kind of send like a random like essay.
Yeah.
Everyone know that I don't, anything past a sentence, I switch off. Like, it was really nice. I felt bad afterwards. But then when we got to the party, you'd sent it to lots of people. So then I didn't feel that bad. Like, if it was like, oh, Kaz, da-da-da-da, it wasn't. You'd found it blatantly off Google. You'd took it off Google and sent it to all.
Not to all.
All right, to a good
I think I
100
sent
people at the party. So then I actually didn't feel bad then.
I think I sent it to about 5 people. So you were in my top 5. You were in my top 5.
But what were you on about?
I just wanted to send you something nice. I'd had a bit of a busy week, a
Okay.
few different
All right,
things, and I
sorry.
thought I wanted to send you something nice. So yeah, do you want to ask why I had a busy week?
Why did you have a busy week, Jill?
So basically, this week I actually had to have a little procedure where, like, you know, my voice sometimes goes a bit croaky and stuff. I thought I better go and get it checked out. So I went to the doctors, and it was actually really embarrassing when I was sat in the doctors. So obviously the podcast that I do with the guys, you know how there was that Marlon Harewood
Oh, yeah.
clip that went viral. So anyway, I'm sitting there in the doctors, and
That was so funny, by the way.
yeah, it was funny. Roy killed us. But I'm sitting there
Shout
in the
out to Roy.
doctors. Yeah, we love Roy.
We love Roy.
We were sitting there. Well, I was sitting there. I was by myself. And there was loads of, like, elderly people there. And this guy walks in. You know when someone walks in, they're just like...
It's not Marlon Harewood,
just-
was it?
No, it wasn't
Oh.
Marlon Harewood in the doctors. Oh, yeah, hi, Marlon. But he's, like, looking at us. And he keeps looking over. He's got his son with him, who's about 19, 20. And I was like, just keep your head down. And then literally the guy comes out and he goes, Jill, you're next. And I was like, thanks. So I get up and the guy shouts, are you in here because of what Marlon did to you the other week? And all these elderly
my
people
God.
look at us. His son whacks him as if to be like, Dad, you've just proper embarrassed us. Anyway, I just went, haven't heard that before, and went in. Anyway, so I get in there, say to the guy, you know what, I've been getting like kind of losing my voice, whatever. He goes, right, we're going to do a procedure where we'll put a little camera up your nose and then drop it down your throat just to look at like your voice box and everything. He's like, will you be all right with that? I was like, well, I'm going to have to be really if you're doing it. Anyway, cut a long story short, £750 later, I go away with, this is no word of a lie, a Piriton hay fever tablet.
Are you joking?
I am not
You
joking.
just got hay fever.
Basically, I think it's just allergies. Everything's fine. And obviously, I'm grateful everything's fine.
What kind of place did you go to that you got abused, then you got charged £750 for a tablet?
Well, because I'm not signed up to a doctor, because we take for granted a little bit, don't we, that we obviously got medical care with football.
Yeah.
And when I needed to go, I was like, oh, I'm not signed up for a doctor. So I just went to like this thing where you can kind of pay as you go a little bit. So yeah, all of that, basically, I've got hay fever. £750.
So wait. Did you only get this kind of voice issue at a certain part of the year?
Yeah, like the summer.
Did you not like...
Well, now I do, but sometimes in hindsight, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, look, the moral of the story is well done for getting it checked.
Yeah.
And like, it might have been expensive, which could have paid for your car, but...
Yeah. I think the car's going to be more than that.
Yeah. To be fair, talking of, again, what's with us with procedures this week?
Have you had one?
Yeah. Oh my God, I had a new nose. No joking.
I thought you looked good.
Thanks,
I
mate.
thought it was like a hair transplant at the front, but
The frizziness.
yeah.
No, I had a little procedure. I won't say what it was, but part of it, something had to go through my groin.
Like a camera.
No, I had some tubes, whatever. Anyway, and all's fine, obviously, because I'm here.
Yeah.
But I had a general anaesthetic, so obviously you get knocked out, which I think's amazing. Like, it's the best night's sleep ever.
Oh my God, I'd get scared for that.
Oh no, I'm like, crank it up, send me off. So yeah, anyway, but obviously then I woke up in the recovery room, and basically for the procedure then they obviously put like a I don't know, I call it like a big plaster. It's not, is it? It's like protecting whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they were quite aggressive with how they put it on. So I thought they'd stitched my part up.
Like
So-
you think?
Yeah.
Are you groin?
No, I thought they'd like stitched my thing up. So I was half like semi-asleep. And I woke up and I was a bit like, I feel like Barbie. I feel like they've sewed me up. So I had to like call the nurse, and I was like, I started panicking. I was like,
What, you thought they'd stitched up like
yeah.
your fairy? Let's say your fairy.
I thought I couldn't wink anymore. Like, put it that way.
That is not going to make the edit.
No, that won't make the edit. But basically, I started like panicking and like sweating.
Yeah.
Like, so I thought I'd become Barbie.
And what had they actually done?
Well, they just put the thing too aggressive across, and then they'd have changed it, and then I was.
Oh my God.
But I was half like not with it.
You know when they pulled this big plaster off? Was it like getting a wax?
No, I can't really remember.
Oh, because I think...
But I was just panicking, and I was thinking, how am I going to go to the toilet? What,
Okay.
this was all going through my head.
Was everything okay though in the end?
Yeah, like everything's fine.
Yeah, it's all working.
So
You've checked.
yeah, that probably
Yeah.
won't make
You've
the
had a
edit.
good week, to be fair.
Yeah, it's been stressful.
You've
Yeah.
had a good... When you were saying that, I remembered about... And I think it's an issue we should talk about, smear tests. Everybody should go for them as regular as possible. I don't think it's something we
No.
should be embarrassed about. But I remember when you were saying about procedures down there, I was thinking, I remember when I went for a smear test, and basically I was in Sunderland. It was a few years ago now, and they were like, do you mind, we've got like a trainee nurse, so like, do you mind if she does it, and we'll bring in our experienced nurse just to like overlook. I was like, I'm here now, my legs are in them, what are they called, stirrups or something.
No
So
idea.
basically in that position, so the trainee nurse comes in to do it, and then the other nurse comes in, and literally as I walk in, I felt like she didn't even look at my face, but she was like, do you play for Everton?
Oh no!
And I was thinking, what's down there, like a crest or something? But basically our husband, and this is going back years when the game like you weren't like known for playing football.
Clearly.
Our husband was a mad Everton fan living in Sunderland. So I'm getting this procedure, and basically she recognised us, and as I'm sitting there, legs wide open, we'll start talking about Everton's WSL season.
How did it go down?
Well, the procedure.
And the season, yeah.
Hey, good one. So yeah,
Won't make the cut either.
but always get your smear tests. It's very important. But you're good. Everything's good. You got your results?
I'm here.
Okay. So, Kaz, we're not here to talk about medical procedures. Really.
That wasn't part of the script.
It's getting something in my ear saying we need to talk about football. Okay. So, obviously, for people that don't kind of know our history of being friends, but football is how we met, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate, or should we just leave it at that?
But I think this is why people wouldn't presume that we're friends, because
Yeah.
like we are very, very different. But I guess football did bring us together. And yeah, I think my first memory of you was probably no different to now, actually. You're very tall, very funny.
You could have said good looking, but we'll just say tall. It's fine.
Yeah, we met I think the first time I met you was at a training camp, and you were doing that. Did you know the trick that you did on League of Their Own?
Oh yeah, my one trick.
You did that then, and I was like, and then you did the one where it flicks over your head. I remember you doing that. It was very memorable.
Oh,
Which was but yeah, I remember meeting you there, and then we went away to France as well in
Yeah.
Clairefontaine. That was like, I think certainly was my first kind of big experience of football. away with England and the 17s, and
Yeah.
I think we were like 14 or something like that.
And we need to talk about, like, we are so different, because I know you'll deny this, but you were an incredible, like, teenage footballer. I'm not saying you
Just
weren't
a
as you
terrible
got
adult
older.
footballer.
No, but you were so good, because I remember going to that camp and I was like, oh my God, like, you were just flying past everyone. And you actually probably made me go home from that camp in tears, because I realised how not good enough I was to be at that level. And then I didn't get picked then for about another 3 years. You were obviously flying, scoring goals in the Euros, 17 years old, 30,000 at the Etihad, kissing your football boot, throwing it into the crowd. And I was just at home crying, like, I'm not good enough.
You were at that game.
I went as a fan.
I remember seeing you after the game.
I caught your boot, and that's also in my house. No, I'm joking.
I was going to say, did you really?
You believe anything
I
say?
do, yeah.
Kaz is so gullible. We need to talk about that in some episodes. But then I met you at Loughborough again.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think we ever interacted. We both went to university on an FA
Why
scholarship.
did you do that?
Well, just because we didn't really... Well, was it a university? It was more college, wasn't it? Did you go to university?
No, I did a university degree.
But you got your degree. I didn't.
You got a life degree.
Well, kind of. But we didn't interact, did we? We're
No,
very
'cause-
different.
Yeah, I remember like being the geek in my room doing my work, and I used to look out the window and think, "Oh, Jill's off for a coffee again." I'm like, "How does this girl get time to do coffee?" And then there was like a gang of you all off to, I don't know where you went for your coffee at that time. And I was thinking, and I'd see you at training, and then that would be it, and then I'd be back to studying, and then I'd see you go for your coffee again. I'm like, does she not go to school?
Well, I didn't really, and to be honest, that's probably why I did the first year 3 times.
Did you really?
Yeah. Whilst you
Did you have to
ended up
pay for it?
getting your degree. Yeah, I did actually. I did have to pay for it. But I remember we'd go out on a Monday night, which I'm guessing you didn't go. No. And we'd be dressed as like a blue Smurf or something like that, because it was like Freshers Week. And we'd do weight sessions the next morning. And remember, weights was like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd literally just be like, wherever the kind of coach went, I'd go in the other room. So I'd go and do some runs, and then she'd come into the running room, and then I'd go and do some weights.
That is so true. The big running track.
I'd just be walking around, but you could. I remember I was doing bench press, obviously like 40 kg or something. And she was like, "Were you out last night, Jill?" I was like, "No, no." And I had the big "Hey You" stamp still on my hand.
And the blue paint from the Smurf on your eyes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Didn't give it away.
But that is why you got a degree and I didn't.
Just because I went.
Yeah. But we didn't interact, did we?
No.
No. But I'm trying to think what changed. When would you say that would became like...
No, but I don't know. I don't think I was very outgoing, or like I literally did my work and did my football, and that was it. I don't really...
Yeah.
You know, it takes a while for me to warm up to a few people. But I obviously always like knew of you, and then in training, and like always wanted you to do well, but didn't really verbalise anything. We just kind of cross paths
Like
differently.
passing shits.
Yeah, a little bit. But obviously, I still thought the world of you. I just didn't tell you.
You know, when you say it took a while to warm up to someone, usually that's like you walk into a room, maybe a few hours. We're talking like 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, were you on defrost?
Like, that's why a lot of people find it hard to connect with me, because I'm a bit like, it takes a good while
I can't be
for me
bothered with that one.
I'm like, well, I don't know, we'll keep persevering, see what they're like. And you continue to be authentic, funny and tall. So I went, yeah, go on then, I'll stick with her. She's all right.
I remember the moment that changed it for me was when we were in England camp in 2013. Remember the Euros? It didn't go very well. I remember it was quite a bad tournament. And I remember I'd played the first 2 games, and then we were playing France, and we needed to get points. And I remember Hope took a few of us into a room, and
So
it was...
X Factor?
Yeah, it was a bad way to do it. And basically she was like, "Yeah, yous aren't playing today." And I was just like, what? It was like such a shock, because I thought we might have individual meetings and stuff like that. Because surely one person's reason for not playing isn't the same as like the other people in there. But that was Hope, to be fair to her. She did what she had to do, didn't she, in the moment. And I remember walking out, and you know when like you're filling up with tears and you just can't stop it. And my face was all blurry. And then I seen you, and to be fair, you were so nice in that moment. You were like, Jill, just keep going and you'll get your chance. And I think you give us a hug. And I think in that moment, you were really there for me. And I think you made us kind of just get rid of the emotion and go back to like the logical thinking, especially in tournaments, you need that. And I think kind of that was a moment where I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to have her as a friend. And it was the turning point. And I always say now to young people in teams and even adults as well, when you're at work, like, make sure you take time out to speak to people, because you don't know how people are feeling, do you? But you really did like pick me up in that moment. And I bet you're going to say now that you probably don't remember it.
No, I do remember where we sat, because I remember having like thinking like a choice is just like, everyone has a choice in life, don't they? Where you go like, do I just walk away and like, not my problem, or do you like do the right thing? And
Yeah.
I thought like I said, I'd always known you, always thought a lot of you, and always thought the world of you, and you're just like, okay, I can step up and help you. But I also think that like I could relate it to you, because there's been a lot of times probably in probably before yourself where, you know, you'd be dropped, or like you'd walk into a meeting and then you'd be like not in the team for, you know, a World Cup game or something like that, and then you'd be expected to get on the bus and go and train and like put this mask on and go, oh, everything's okay. So then in that moment, like I was like, well, I know how she feels and it's really rubbish, and I can just try and help her a little bit, and you were like worth it. So I was just like, fine, it's Jill.
Oh,
But
you know what though? Thinking about it, like how I didn't expect that moment to come, because I don't know if you'll remember this, but we were playing France, and I remember Hope had the cones in her hand.
we went 4-4-2
And we
for
went
the first time.
4-4-2.
How
So
do
she
you
put
remember that?
down the back four, and then she put down the right wing, which would have been you, I think. And then we'll go.
That's where we went wrong, Jill.
We'll go into them 3 in midfield to 2, and she went, we're going 4-4-2, and she put down, which would have been Anita and Kaz. And I'm not joking, she looked directly at me and went, and there will be changes, and just stared at us. And I was like, yeah, I should have probably clicked on at that moment that I was going to get dropped. But yeah, but from your perspective in that moment, I bet you're thinking, God, here's Jill coming towards us crying. Like that must have been like quite an awkward moment for you, I think.
But because it was you, like, because like you're like so happy go and like lovely and energy and bubbly and like this. So then when you're that way, you're like, oh, okay, this is not great. It's not a good situation.
Yeah.
But you do bounce back. That's why Joe, you have that middle, because you have resilience. You can bounce back from disappointment, and then when you speak to the younger players, they all look up to you because you recognise the highs and the lows, and you have that resilience to bounce back. But you know, even after that though, you went to training, and like it just spurred you on. And again, like that's why you have that, because
I was
you
trying
get
to
through
follow
it.
you, to be honest, and I would never ever have been as good a player as you, ever. Like ever. Right, back to the red book.
Go on
Okay,
then.
so
Is there anything in it?
look, my notes are so random though when I have this book. So I've got like Maisie. We had Maisie come to the coffee shop and do a talk. So I've wrote like some notes, and
Maisie's trying to steal you from being our best friend.
yeah, I think she is, to be honest. I've put Maisie, big fan, does my head in, and then I've put I always just give her favours, which sounds a bit wrong now that I've written that. Took her Taylor Swift, give her 4 Wembley tickets.
Hold on, can we go back to that Taylor Swift?
Yeah. Oh, did you go with her?
No, Jill. We arranged to go. I was going to go with you.
Oh, yes. I give my ticket to Maisie.
But you didn't give it to Maisie. Then Maisie gave it to her husband and friend, who were lovely, by the way. But I turned up thinking, I'm going to the concert with Jill. Turned up, then you messaged me, and you were like, you'd be with Maisie. So I was like, okay, great, I'll go and have the concert with Maisie. Turned up, it wasn't Maisie, it was Maisie's husband, who I'd never met before, and Maisie's husband's friend, who I'd never met before.
Don't tell us you turned up in like boots and a cowboy hat.
Yeah, full on went Taylor. Like, I got, like, to be fair, I said to my niece, for my birthday, you can dress me for Taylor. So she gave me a Taylor outfit, so I went what my niece dressed me as.
I feel like she's done that thing, you know, where
You've
like...
just deflected that. You were meant to go to Taylor with me, and you threw it. Not one person, 2 person.
Do you know what I feel like though? You know, on Toy Story where he's just dragging the Woody toy. That's you off to Taylor Swift with your niece.
I did. No, I did wear some cowboy
I
boots.
forgot to tell you. You know what? It got
Didn't
to
write
the
in your
day-
book, did you?
It got to the day, and I thought I do love Taylor Swift, but I'm not like, is it called a Swiftie? And I knew Maisie loved her, so I thought I'm going to give the ticket away. But I totally forgot we were going together. I do remember them texts actually. Let's see if I can find it. If I type in Taylor Swift, that is actually so bad from me. It was August, wasn't
It's all
it?
coming out now, isn't it?
Taylor Swift. Oh, here, yes. What tickets? It was me saying to you, what tickets do you have for Taylor Swift? I have these. And then I've put, I don't know, what does your ticket say? I'll try and get the same. Yes, Jill, I'm sat with you. And then a week later, hey, you, I'm not there tonight, so sorry.
See? See? Terrible. You're terrible.
And then I've tried to get myself out of it. This is me looking in on Jill. I was only going to see you, and the person who loves Taylor Swift is going, so it's a good deal, really. And then you put, I'm dressed up for you.
That sounds
It's
wrong.
all a bit weird now. It's gone a bit. You sent us a picture.
No, stop it. Someone you'd say, yeah, that's when Kieran made me dress up. Shout out to Kira.
Shout out to Woody from Toy Story.
You know what though? I went with a full-on effort.
Oh, that is
You were
so
meant to have been there.
bad.
Yeah, see? Bad friend you are.
That is so bad. Oh, Kaz, I'm so sorry. And then I've put, let me take you for food. You look great.
And have you ever took me for food?
No, oh, I feel
See,
so
it's
bad.
all coming out. Queen of the Jungle.
This boot can get me into trouble, can't it?
I think it's your phone.
Oh, God, I actually feel so bad. What else is in here? Let's have a look.
Didn't you go to Paris?
Yeah, we did. Because basically we'd arranged to go shopping in London and the marathon was on. So basically we had to change plans. But you know you can get to Paris in an hour.
What, fly or
Well,
train?
you're on the flight. An hour. Like 1 hour
quicker
later.
to get to Paris for you than London?
Yeah, exactly. But I booked this restaurant, right, and it got sold as like lovely view of the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God, you literally could see like one metal bit of the Eiffel Tower through like all these trees and everything. So I messed up on that one, but it was good.
Very
And I
good
could
party.
speak French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Jill, au revoir, comme ci, comme ça.
Isn't it avoir?
No, what's that? Do you know any French?
I think, was it like...
Let's
So
have a
till-
conversation in French.
Oh, God.
Bonjour, Karen.
Bonjour, Jill.
Um,
It's going well, Jill.
Je m'appelle Jill.
Cool.
Comme ci, comme ça.
Is that French?
Yeah, it's like, I'm okay. Hi, I'm Jill, I'm okay. Je m'appelle Jill, comme ci, comme ça. Karen.
Jabita, London.
Ah, j'habite à London, non memorabilia. J'habite Sunderland.
We need Sonia Bonpastor on here, don't we?
Yeah,
To
we do.
absolutely school us.
She could be our first guest.
Do you know? I remember on a flight with England, and I sat next to Lucy Bruns.
Yeah.
And this was when Lucy was at City, and in the like the pouch at the front there was like a French book. So I just went to her, I was like, "Going Leon, then are ya?" And she was like, I said, "Do you want me to help you practice your French then?" So I got the French book out and was testing her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, on the way. I don't know where we were going. I was cracking up. So I remember going to her, "Je m'appelle Kaz," and like going in the French book and trying to get ready for Leon.
That is actually mad how you found out that she was going to Leon.
It was just in the, where you put the books or where you throw up in that thing. It was in there, so I was just like, and I just, me, I was went, oh, off to France, where's
She can speak different languages though, can't she?
Yeah, but
Lucy?
she's clever though.
I would never, obviously, I would never have got the opportunity. I think I must have missed a few emails from Barcelona, back in the day. I think they used to email, but I would never think I'm going to learn Spanish. Would you?
I tried and then gave up.
Did you?
Sometimes you just got to know you're not good at things.
Yeah. Did you get any offers? Because obviously you played in America, but did you get offers? Because you were like a teenage sensation, so you must have had clubs coming in left, right, and centre.
I had Sweden, America.
But what teams in them countries?
I can't remember. I definitely know I had Sweden, Germany. I didn't have France. I had America. I actually had China.
Did you?
Yeah, China as well.
Oh my God, I had none. I always had to email the clubs going, are you looking for a tall midfielder. It was like, when you put an advert in the paper.
Do you reckon they messaged Garth Rakers? Do you remember her?
Yeah, she looked like
That
me.
is basically a German player that looked like Jill.
She
Maybe
doesn't
they
look
emailed
like
her
me.
and not you.
Yeah, they got mixed up.
Maybe.
It was like putting an advert in the paper, like Jill, full service history, ex-runner, and then probably like 76,000 miles on the clock, new owner wanted. I never got any clubs.
Is that your car you're talking about?
Yeah, but the thing was, I was trying to make myself an ad.
No wonder you didn't get picked up then. It wasn't a very good ad, was it? You
My
better than
things are
that.
wasted on you, honestly.
Yeah.
They're actually wasted. Right, so Kaz, I think the little red #large red moleskin book.
$21.99.
Exactly. Get it in a store.
Are you going to leave it or give it to someone safe?
No, well, I need to take it with us so that I can write things.
Yeah, but I think it's safer to give the red book and you just make notes in your phone or something, and then when you come, you write in. I don't think that'll be on the next episode.
I don't think
that will make it.
I don't think you trust me.
Do you know what? If I don't have children, if I had children, I would trust you with my children, no question. Passport, purse, phone, car keys, car, books, no chance.
Okay.
Wouldn't give you any of that.
Okay. This is actually a good point because this book is the reason we're doing a podcast. So do you think we can do a podcast? Stories from here. So we'll just add stories from our career. Maybe, you know what? Ones that, when you used to play and you couldn't tell the stories because you were protecting people. We're retired now. Should we just go for it?
Are you not going to be a team player?
Yeah, but I'm not going to bring people out. But I'm thinking more staff. We're going for your staff. So, Kaz, we've had fun, haven't we, telling all of our stories from over the years. So basically, we're going to give you a chance to send your stories in, but they have to be short, okay? So, Kaz, for today, we've got the producer to send us one in because obviously we haven't launched the podcast. And basically, I'm going to give you the 3 words and then you guess what the story is, okay?
Right.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the 3 words are
Oh, no.
first date lizard.
Are you joking me? You've done this.
I know, to be honest, this is probably
These
a
are
story that I would tell.
These are your 3 words. I can't tell it. Oh,
It's
no.
got to be short. Go.
There was a lizard on their first date.
What, they just randomly
That
spotted?
wasn't what came to my mind when the 3 words.
No, come on, say what came to your mind. This is a safe space.
It's not.
Long story short.
No, I'd keep it short. No, I don't know.
So first date, they went for a walk, they seen a lizard.
That'll do.
Okay. So this is it really. 10 years ago, I was at uni single, living away from home. Having a great time, I'd been talking to a guy for a few weeks and went out on a first date with him.
Is this your story?
No.
Oh.
There's a big clue that it's not my story. Date went well enough, nothing special, would expect better now, but I was 18. So I went back to his after. Had fun times, wrapped things up, and I was just sat on the end of the bed, putting my shoes back on, and heard a rustling sound. I ignored it because it was a student flat and it could have been rats, mice, could have been anything. Gross, but I suppose normal. The rustle carried on and was definitely coming from under the bed.
No.
Asked him if he heard it and he replied, "Oh, that'll just be my lizard." Turns out he had a small lizard as a pet. Bit odd, but not a complete turn-off. It was just allowed to roam freely around his room when he was in. So while we'd been having... the lizard...
That's what I thought.
had just been hanging out
No.
under the bed, and he never thought to tell me. Didn't see him again, but he did text about a few weeks later and said I could visit him and he'd get his lizard out whenever I liked. Don't know if that's a bit of a random message at the end.
That's a true story.
Yeah, so you nearly got it, really.
In my head. No, in my head, that's what I thought. I was like, I can't say that out loud.
You thought he called this thing his lizard?
Maybe. I
Okay.
thought anyway.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your story. We won't name you Jen and Dan, but we'll hope that you had a good first date. So if you want your story to be featured on a future episode, please drop us a story in full, but then give us your 3 words and send it to longstoryshort@crowdnetwork.co.uk. Sound good? Right, that's it. First episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the follow button because you don't want to miss our future episodes. And also for everything on socials, please follow at Long Short Pod.
I'll see you next time, Jill.
Well, I hope so.
Let's do it.
Make sure you bring some stuff.
I will, I'll try.
If you care, you'll make them shelves unbare.
That won't make the edit.
Might do.